I'm going to give myself a little mark on the clap.
What does that do?
So that later I can sync up the audio to the video.
Oh.
When he goes back to the edit.
Because you can sync the clap?
Yeah.
So,
You could do a snap.
I can do a snap.
Okay.
I like to do a very jarring.
I mean, that's what that
clap.
Clapboard?
Yeah, clapboard.
That's why they do that?
That's what the clapboard is for. Yes.
How did you not know that, dude?
Dude, I studied television and
Yeah, no
film.
shit. I think even like little kids know that.
Oh, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, everything.
How in the world did you not know what the clapboard was for?
I don't know.
It's to set a time marker for. Yeah, so you
I
can sync
majored
things.
in television and film, and did not know that.
And I think that the clapboard's probably been a part of television and film since its inception, maybe early 1900s
Jeff,
when it came out.
Can we get a fact check, Jeff, on your laptop?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that makes total sense. I get it now. I don't know why I don't know what I thought it was. I mean, I knew that they write the scene on the front and everything.
Editor, so the writing stuff is for when the editor's looking, they know what day.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know that.
And then the clapping is for like syncing up all the cameras.
That's hilarious that I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't even. I don't know what I thought.
You just thought it was like, okay, go.
Let's go and go. That's hilarious. Oh my God, what a dum-dum. That's awesome. I love when like this happens to anybody where there's like this really common piece of knowledge that for whatever reason your whole life you just weren't there that day.
Yeah.
And you just missed it your whole life, and then at like 39 you find out. Like the thing, like one of the toots we did, the zipper thing. I still find
The flip up versus flip down?
because the people who know this are like, no, whatever. And then the people who don't know it are like, that's not right. It's like, so when I had this pair of jeans that the zipper kept coming down. It just kept coming down. And it really bugged me. And so finally I was like, I really like these jeans. I don't want to throw them away. They're all broken in. So I took them to the tailor, Soon, down the street. Shout out to Soon's Tailors. Struggling like all this small business out there on West Gray. So go ahead, take your alterations to Soon. And she was like, she just looked at me, and her English isn't great, but she didn't need any English to tell me that I was a dumbass. And she said, no, you just flip it down. So when you pull the zipper up, you have to flip the zipper down because it catches.
It has a little lip on it.
Yeah, it catches on the zipper chain or the zipper whatever connection. And that's what keeps your fly up. But if you pull the zipper up and you leave it up, it just falls down. Did you know that though? See,
I had no idea.
I was not aware of
I know.
that. At all.
Thank you, Ade. I didn't know. I mean, that's one of those things that she was like, and guess what? I'm not wearing them right now, but I still have those gray jeans. They still look great. And the fly stays up.
Hey,
No.
Gabe. 1920s. The clapperboard was invented in the 1920s. They were first invented and were a huge help in speeding up the synchronization process.
Yeah,
They've been around since the
Nice.
20s. They've been around 100 years.
I mean, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I knew I was
100
doomed.
years.
I was doomed. Good thing I had that formal education. What a dumb shit. Also, like going to college, like a university, and studying television and film, like when you definitely can learn 10 times as much getting the job, like my man Gabe and Ade. I mean, that's a much better experience than spending $400,000 a year
And coming out not knowing what a clapperboard is.
Jesus, what a dum-dum. Okay, so that was a great start, and we're back. I know a lot of people were asking. Literally no one. Actually, literally one person asked me about if our podcast was coming back.
Are we allowed to say who it was?
Yeah, Jacob.
Hell yeah.
Jacob Kanegi. Thanks, buddy. You're the reason that we decided to relaunch this. We actually had a podcast in the can that we didn't even know we had. In the can. That's a classic film.
There you go.
Because you would put the film in the film can to keep it fresh or not exposed or whatever.
Right.
So you say, oh, we got that one in the can.
It's in the can. But that's just a term.
I know. I'm going to be dropping film terms the whole podcast just to like try to get some cred back. So we're happy to be back, and hopefully people will listen and be enjoy. The last episode we did that we're going to launch today probably is really good for young people who are looking for interviewing tips and things like that, the do's and don'ts. But this episode, not so creatively, is going to be about remote work. So kind of what our preconceptions were before COVID, what we're currently doing, and kind of what we think the future of remote work looks like, and our take on it. So before COVID, if you can remember pre-COVID, and I don't want to talk about COVID because it's nothing we're going to say is going to be interesting to anybody. But what were your, Jeff? What were your honest thoughts and feelings about either a fully remote office company or partially remote or no remote at all? I mean, what were your feelings on it?
I thought remote work was was a cool concept, but it was more just like a cool concept. I didn't honestly think that people could pull it off very well. And that was just kind of stupid on me because we're all so connected and can do our work. As long as you have a phone and a laptop, you can work from anywhere. Yeah. And I guess I just never really thought about it that way, and kind of just assumed that people that wanted to work from home just wanted to be home and watch movies. I don't or do other stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My mind has been changed. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. No, I think I don't know. I definitely felt like I was hanging on to the old. I knew I wasn't right by wanting everybody to come in every day from 9 to 5. In fact, it was on my head all the time. We're constantly trying to think about a better way to run a business. And if it means flexible schedules, or actually, that's what's interesting. Is right before COVID, the beginning of the year, we had this big annual meeting with the whole team, and we discussed kind of what our goals were. And one of the goals we had for this year was to have a 4-day work week.
Right. And
we were really excited about it, and we were energized, and we were going to have off Fridays, and we were building towards it. We had a whole plan and everything, and everyone was really excited about it. And it was going to be a differentiating factor for us in terms of recruiting employees, and everything like that. But now it's totally irrelevant.
The 4-day work week thing wasn't really working from home. It was just saying, hey, we don't work on Friday.
Yeah.
Unless there's something that is, that majorly needs to get done. But that was basically a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
As opposed to this kind of new idea.
Well, and the new idea and that kind of transitions, like what we're currently doing is it's make your own schedule.
Right.
It's you come up with your schedule. You're a grown up, make your schedule, tell us, just like have it randomly, not randomly, have it posted clearly. Like, I'm going to be in the office these days. I'm going to be out of the office these days. Our office is big enough to where, 10 people can work with enough space. So it's fine to work here if you want to, but you don't have to either. So we have some people who literally, this is Gabe's first day in, right?
In 4 months?
Yeah.
Since school let out for spring break.
So what day?
March?
Yeah, mid-March.
Yeah. So this is Gabe's first day in. And because it's all about comfort level and things like that. So that's great. But he's been working diligently. Well, I don't know if he is working diligently. He's probably not doing.
He was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, yesterday he worked hard. Wouldn't know what he's up to. He also had a baby.
It's only because Jeff was there.
Yeah, Jeff was watching. But like Ade's probably been in 5 times. I've been in every single day because I have 3 kids and I love coming to the office and it's a good respite for me. Jeff's been in, every, couple days a week. Everyone's different and it works. It's working. It seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah. I don't think that, if you look across the board at our clients, I don't think anything has gone south with any of them, especially due to people working remotely.
Yeah. No, I don't think it has either. And here's the other crazy thing. During all this, I think I can reveal this. I don't think it matters to anybody, but Linda, who has worked here for, I don't know, almost probably close to 5 years. So 80% of the time we've actually been a company, Linda's been part of it. So she's a huge part of our company. Her husband got a job opportunity in Colorado where she's always wanted to travel. She's young and married, and she should travel. And she got this opportunity. They got this opportunity to move to Colorado. And she came to us and was like, I want to do this, but I also don't, can I stay and work at 5+8? And we're like, yeah, I guess so. But I don't think I would have felt that way. I don't think I would have felt that way pre-COVID.
Probably not. But I mean, even then though, our main proofreader, Audrey, is up in the epicenter of coronavirus in New York, working with us every chance that she can. I mean, we'll send her something on Basecamp and she responds back within 5 minutes.
No, I mean, we talked about putting Audrey on our website, and that's kind of the interesting thing now with all this stuff is that the definition of an employee, like Ade is another good example where Ade's going to school, but he's working, and it's like this weird line of like what's an employee and what's remote versus. I mean, one of our biggest clients now, the Kidney Cancer Association, their entire team is remote. Their whole team is all over the country. It's an international organization, and it's not it's a I don't know, bigger than us, but not a huge 15-person team, and they're all remote, and they are working. That is an efficient, hardworking team. And I know it happens. I don't know. It's weird.
Some companies are never going to go unremote again.
Yeah. Well, the buddy of mine, works at a big accounting firm. They don't know if, or she doesn't know if they're gonna go back to their offices ever, because they're accountants and they're realizing how much money they're saving by not renting out floors and floors of some downtown.
We save money too by not going out to lunch all the time.
we've saved a couple. I mean, we've saved how much?
Thousands of dollars
by not all being together. And
hey, let's order food in, or hey, who wants to run down to Kroger?
Yeah, or hitting up, getting drinks after work. I mean,
snacks.
What? Snacks. Yeah, we haven't had any snacks. No, but I'll say this. So that's all well and good. But I will say that totally randomly today that we did the podcast was a day that we've had more people in than we've had since March. And we're safe and yada, whatever. But we have 2, 4, 6, 7 people in today. And that's the most people we've ever had in. And I got to say, I got a huge rush of like energy, having everybody in, seeing everyone's faces, doing this stuff, feeling normal again. So I'll never be like, hey, we're all remote all the time, because and also with what we do, being a
collaboration is good.
It really
face to face.
It is, and we can do stuff with calls, and it works. I think it works 70-80% of the time. But man, sometimes you need to be together, and you need to have those kind of conversations that you just can't get into in the same way. There aren't any glitches around a conference table. Where there's no, like, you don't drop out, people don't just drop out or freeze at a conference table. And that can really like screw up your.
That's one thing that from all this that I do not like is the Google calls and the Zoom calls, and it's just hard to communicate via that.
Yeah.
You can be in the middle of talking to a group of people, and then half of them just freeze and they're just stuck staring at you, and you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know if they can hear you. It just gets kind of wonky.
Well, and someone pointed out this there's a lot of stress involved with Zoom calls, which I didn't really understand that, but they pointed out that if you're on a Zoom call, and there's like 9, 10 of you or whatever, you have to pay attention, even though you don't really know what's going to happen next. And then all of a sudden you're called on, or you're called out, or you're mentioned. And it's a very like weird feeling where you're like disengaged you can be disengaged the entire time. I guess that's not on like a regular meeting though.
Well, what's the benefit of a Zoom call to a standard phone call? Like having 4 people, or like just like a conference call. The video.
No, I definitely think that there's
conference calls. Don't glitch.
No, but conference calls also, I think you interrupt each other more.
Yeah, maybe.
And you talk over each other because you can't see any like visual. You're not getting any visual cues. What what I think I'd like to do, and I'm starting to put this on the calendar when we have calls, is I'm going to start. I think we should start saying this is going to be a video call, and I want that way everyone knows, hey, put on a clean shirt and be ready to do a video call, or this you can have your cameras off.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's weird. Well, it's always weird if you don't know who's going to be on camera and who's not, and it's like voluntary. But I think it should be stated ahead of time. Hey, can we all be on video, or we don't have to be on video? Because there are calls like we have kickoff calls with clients coming up where we have never met them in person, and I think the first call should be video so you can see people and then make that connection. Anyway.
Yeah. Just another random offshoot.
And then I guess really we have. I mean, the last thing we're going to talk about was the future for us and the future for whatever people that are have small businesses and what does that look like? I mean, I remember having a call with this agency in Maine of all places, and the reason was because it doesn't matter. It's not interesting, but there's an agency in Maine that I got in contact with me and asked me about remote work. And this was pre-COVID. And I said, we have really one person or two people that work remotely 1 day a week. And I was like, it's fine. It works great. There's no problems. And they were just like, man, we just can't get our heads around this concept of remote work. And they just, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I get it. But it's no problem. I mean, people also are when they like something, like they like the privilege of being able to stay home, they don't want to lose that privilege by screwing it up, by being a butthead and not working. And if there's ever a question about are you working or are you not working, then that's a big concern.
Yeah. Who in Maine? What town in Maine?
Remember when I did that thing, the agency breakdown thing where that guy was like, went into our accounting and figured out how much our clients were worth and all that crap. So that guy was trying to, even though I didn't really like the service that much, I liked it for a one-off thing that the monthly payment thing didn't work. But anyway, he was trying to get them to buy it. So he used me as a reference.
Nice.
And so I was like, cool. Yeah. So I thought someone in Maine. Anyway, I think, I don't know. I don't know that. I guess I think the future for us is always looking at things like I think it's really important just to put yourself back in the shoes of somebody that you once were. Pick Sharon Chu. She's 25. I don't know. Anyway, and just remembering what it's like to be 25,
right,
and work somewhere. And the things that you tell yourself, like, I wish my boss would let me do this, or I wish they allowed this because it just makes sense. Not because I just, want, but if working from home works for you, then, and you get your job done, just looking at it rationally, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and for individual employees, there's other, there's tons of benefits to it. But for Sharon Chu that lives, 25 miles away, she's saving a bunch of money on gas too.
Yeah. And so if you take COVID out of the picture, right, let's just say it didn't happen, right? And we just have decided to change our whole model right now. I think I'd be happy with people setting their own schedule completely, letting them set their own schedule, and then having meetings scheduled though that are in-person meetings, in the office meetings that you are obligated to come to.
Right.
Whether it's not every freaking meeting, most of them can be calls or Zoom calls and things like that, but kickoff calls with clients or kickoff meetings with clients, big brainstorm things where we want to really sketch things out and spend some time together.
Yeah.
And then maybe having then you just schedule bi-weekly or bi-monthly or whatever it is, team meetings and events and reasons to get together. So that you do get that occasional, at least face to face, but I think this is the future. I think it's a weird way for us to learn that, for everyone to learn that. But I don't think that there's any, I don't think there's any going back. I don't think you can put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No, I don't think you can either. I think it's just going to take what's been going on and adapt to it and kind of make it work best for your company. Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, you can, but
Well, people are going to try.
I mean, you can, but you've got your entire staff has been at home for 4 months and like, all right, everybody get back in here Monday.
Yeah.
That's just not going to fly.
No, they're going to leave.
You know?
I mean,
People are like, no.
it's like anytime there's an old way of doing something and if you ever find yourself, I don't know where this is going, but I think this is going somewhere. If you ever find yourself fighting for the old way to stay, whatever that is, and I'm not being political, but like whenever you find yourself fighting and fighting and fighting to keep an old way that clearly no longer is relevant or makes sense, like the 40-hour work week, which is another one, right? That's all kind of baked in here, is that I don't know how many hours people are working right now. I have no idea, but I do know that everyone's getting their done and they're getting it done on time and they are held accountable for that. But I don't think anybody, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know if anyone's working 40 hours a week, and I don't care.
But most people weren't working. Most people weren't actually working 40 hours a week last year either. You know, they were working for 5 hours at the office and then kind of pretending to work or something for another 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah. So I think anytime we have to just check ourselves and say, are we only doing this because it's the way it's always been done? Then we definitely need to rethink that and not do it that way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gabe?
I think that this industry specifically, or any industry like ours that relies so heavily on like collaboration and the creative and being able to pop into, David's office and just bounce an idea off him real fast. You do kind of lose some of that remotely because there's that etiquette. Like, can I just call David? I mean, he's at home. Is he watching the baby? Right. Especially like I know as a millennial and even Gen Zers, like calling somebody's a big no without you text them first.
Really?
Yeah. You say, hey, can I call you? And then they say yes. And then you can call.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a whole anxiety thing about like, I
can see that.
No, I see it.
I find
I just didn't know it.
Yeah. It's and more so with even younger than like Ade and I, just for anybody who cares, we're 30. So even younger than us. So you do miss a little bit of that, at least me. And then also there are certain types that just working in person works. It's better.
Oh no. Them. I mean, this is just about killed Katie. I mean, Katie, like, the extrovert introvert thing, and people get their energy from being with people or by being by themselves. I mean, Linda and Adrian have been absolutely fine working from home. Katie and I have had a really hard time being isolated and missing our team and missing the collaboration. So obviously it's an individual thing.
And then also like I like coming into the office because like I'm here and I'm held accountable visually. Like, hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that.
Yeah, you like that
pressure
audit too?
Of like needing to do something. Whereas at home, I've had to like transition to task based.
Yeah.
And that's I've had to do it myself. It's not how I normally operate, and it's helped. But that's going to be a difficult transition that not everybody's going to be able to make.
Yeah. No, I think if we came back, or like, let's again say like the concept of COVID not happening or whatever, but just being awakened to this idea. I'm saying don't worry about the social distancing or that part of the things, but I do think that I would be really open to just having like days where you are not obligated to come to the office, but maybe there's days or portions of days, like the middle of the week kind of stuff where we'd like you in the office. But it's so funny that how important we thought 9 to 5 in the office was for so long. Now that's when work was getting done. So I get it, but we've had the internet and we had email and phones like this for a long time, and we didn't change our model.
Right.
Or most people didn't, which is just funny. It's just funny that it takes something like this to like really change everything. And I mean, some days I forget that some days I forget altogether that this whole things going on because a lot of work is being done absolutely fine and business as usual throughout the country and the world. I mean, work's getting done. Projects are getting done and things are getting handled. And then other times you realize, wait, this is all really crazy and screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also it'll be interesting, post COVID, hopefully when we get there, to, for anybody looking for a job is to ask their employers how they handled it.
Yeah.
Hey, during coronavirus, what did you guys do? Because it's going to tell you a lot about, like what you were talking about earlier, that old school, new school mentality. Like, oh, well, obviously it depends on the job that you're going for. But if it's like a white collar job where you go into the office.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's going to be a huge recruitment. I think how you handle the new office or the new whatever is going to be a huge recruitment tool for businesses that are able to adapt and comfortable with adapting. And the ones who think that the old way is going to go back, it's not. It's just not. And if you're going to fight people and force people in, I mean, I literally heard about a company, not a company, like a friend, like my friend works there, and they're making everyone be in the office. They're literally, I mean, you know people like this, Gabe?
Yeah, so I have an uncle who works downtown. I won't say the name of the company, but it's an oil and gas company downtown. They're big guys. They just renovated their whole floor. So they got a big, new, beautiful space that they couldn't use. And then the CEO wanted everybody back in once it was, safe, or at least once they thought it was safe, because they just spent all this money on this place that they're not using.
Yeah.
Soon as they went back in, somebody got sick. They had to shut it down. Everybody got sent home. And this just happened
that's kind of a silly
week.
reason to make everybody come back.
Yeah.
We did this. We literally did the same thing on a mini scale.
Mm-hmm.
We added on to our office right before all this and extended our office out. And it's like, well, this sucks. There's nobody here.
It's just more space now, though.
But it actually works out because I do think it's going to be helpful because we work kind of on top of each other, and nobody's going to want to be on like that close for a long, long time. So it is good, but yeah, you're kind of sad. I remember thinking like, you're like, oh man, I wish we could all be here together, but also like, let's not do that. Make people feel uncomfortable. I mean, what a jerk.
Are handshakes ever coming back?
No, I don't think
that's just a thing in the past.
I think so.
Just doing the elbow touch.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You don't like the elbow touch?
No.
I don't like the elbow touch. We don't have to touch. Why don't we bow? I'm bow. I'm pro bow.
Yeah.
Bow is mad respectful. There's no touching. It's acknowledgement. It's just like, I mean, you can do you can do the head nod, but the head nod's kind of.
It seems very informal. I wouldn't head nod my boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is
Casual thing.
Yeah.
What is Getty going to do with all the handshake stock photos? There's like 1.9 million of them on
Are there?
Getty.
Donate them to a museum.
It's the most cliched photo there is. The business handshake.
Yeah.
Those are irrelevant now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're always going to have your diehard, like somebody's going to come in and just get like a good aggressive.
Really?
No, I had a guy. Has anyone had a guy or a person try to handshake him in the last couple months? Yeah. What'd you do? Did you shook their hand in you, Ade?
So the first person, yes, but then after that, I was just like, nah, I'm good. And so I started raising up my elbow or just saying.
Yeah, I had someone do it too, and I just kind of put my hand up like, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, "Dude, this was like recently." I'm like, "I don't really think that you have it or I have it or we're gonna share it, but like, why would you even try?"
I just really conspicuously pulled out my hand sanitizer from my pocket, like immediately after, just to passive aggressively make a point.
Oh, so you did shake their hand?
I shook their hand and then immediately squirted like a huge glob of hand sanitizer just to kind of like. Anyways, so nice little.
Yeah, I just don't. Have you?
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, I just think it's odd. What are we on time?
10:50.
We're about half hour.
Yeah, that's good. I think we just
all right.
A hard screeching stop. I hope this was.
So we can all work. Everybody should work remotely, and nobody should touch each other at all.
I mean, nobody really should be touching each other in the office anyway.
I mean, handshake wise.
Yeah. But that's kind of again another thing. I don't think we really. There are a lot of people who I don't care about germs at all. But there are a lot of people that really care about germs.
Yeah.
And they did not like handshakes anyway, so they're happy. They're happy to see them go. I think we need like a head nod bow hybrid, because I don't think a Western culture is going to fully embrace the bow, but I think the head nod's a little too informal. So I think like a kind of like a I see you. Like that's more of a I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's gonna
Or just the hand. Is it just like the hand up? Like
hey,
yeah, it's like
Yeah, the
not a wave, not a wave,
hey,
but just like
just like this.
a acknowledgement, like a yeah.
I mean, whatever happened to the what's that? You know, like the old school that where you get the forearms.
It's still a lot of touching, are they?
But I mean, you're not like hands.
So you think this? Nah, man.
I'm just saying, like, you know, in the sense of because that's why they said, you know, you don't shake hands, so you don't touch your face. So if you,
But then you're touching their arm, their COVID arm.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I think it's all or nothing. You either just handshakes are fine, or you do something with no touching involved at all.
I don't think handshakes are fine anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if
think
they are
they're
or
dead.
not.
I think the handshake is dead.
I mean, but what happened like with the Spanish flu though?
I don't know.
Like in the sense of did they stop shaking? I mean, obviously they didn't stop shaking hands after that.
Dropping the Spanish flu on us.
Yeah, it's going.
I don't know.
Just saying, it's same kind of epidemic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I know. I don't. But I'm saying I don't have any information
I got you.
to check if they were how they greeted each other and if it changed. But I do think the handshake is.
It's gone forever.
I am happy that the hug, the business hug or the male female, like when you like get to know,
yeah.
you know, because
Mhm.
it's always been weird with men and women shaking hands for some reason, like a little weird. Maybe it isn't weird, and I think it's weird, or it's old school, but like I don't know. I never the male the female male business, like when you're like kind of friends.
Yeah.
Does it go from a do you go like a professional light hug, which I always hated and thought was so weird and never knew if you were supposed to do it. I remember one time in a meeting, and I always tell a story. Sorry, David, but we were in a meeting somebody that we had met several times, and David just went in for a hug, and he's also Latin. Yeah. And he's also Latin, so maybe culturally this was more common. And she just stonewalled his hug, and he like wasn't really paying attention, so he just like kept going
in.
And also she was quite a bit larger than him. It was a feast for the eyes. It was really enjoyable to watch, and I think about it all the time. I don't even think I've ever talked to him about it, but I talked to other people.
We'll say Hispanics are definitely struggling with the no contact.
Yeah, I bet. Is your family touchy?
Yeah, very. Yeah, you like to. We're huggers. Get all up in there. Get a kiss on both cheeks.
Is it hard?
Know? Yeah, it sucks. I mean, we just have to like say, hey, you know. I mean, we still see each other like outside.
Is your family touchy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty much, I would say it's hardest on the females in my family more than the males. Yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, I'm plead ignorance, but your family's African, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so are African cultures, are they, because obviously Hispanic cultures are known for being, French cultures, being very physical with their like expression of love.
Right. So I would say for us, actually, it's kind of like a mixture of both where we are, but at the same time, like because of the whole respect is like a huge thing in our culture. So, I mean, we don't really bow our heads, but we do basically, I guess, what's the term? Call it like prostrating, where you basically just kind of get down on the floor to greet them. So like if you're a guy, you get down on the floor to greet them. And then if you're a girl, you basically kind of like curtsy, like you kneel. So it's almost like, that's like how you show respect to an elder, basically. And so,
wow, that's rad. So I shouldn't have said, and I shouldn't say African cultures, because obviously Africa is a gigantic continent, and your family's from
Nigeria,
right? Yeah. So does it differ from? I assume there's differences in countries.
Yeah. So obviously the ones that are more, I think the ones that are more like French influence. So like the Congo or Benin or something like that. Yeah, they would probably have a different aspect or a different. Like,
they might kiss on the cheek or something.
Exactly
even.
Right.
Okay.
But and I know some of the ones. Forgot which country. I think it might be Ivory Coast where they speak. No, Ivory Coast, they speak French as well. But there's another African country where they actually speak Spanish, and yeah, it's similar. I think so. Yeah. And so they are
dropping knowledge.
Basically, yeah, it's just a different type of they all have different types of or different styles of how they greet and how they show like affection or whatever. So yeah, but I would say with my family, yeah, it's more just, I mean, we were kind of being precautious anyways, just because of my parents. So yeah. So we kind of like backed off of that. But I know my mom, she likes to hug and, you know, I guess show her affection.
Yes.
And I guess I'm not really worried about, like, my sense is like with my niece, I feel like with all the germs she carries anyways, and she's very handsy. Yeah. And she still has, I don't think she's realized like, hey, you got to understand that this is a specific.
How old is she?
She just turned 5.
Yeah. That'd be hard.
Yeah.
Poppy's 7. She gets it.
Right.
How about Phoebe?
Phoebe just will randomly reference coronavirus, which is funny. Like she'll be like, "Can I go on that swing?" And I'm like, "No." And she goes, "Coronavirus?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. That's actually right, Phoebe." She's 3, so I like that.
Camila said something the other day. I forgot what she wanted to do. Oh no, I think I wanted to do something totally unrelated.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about like chores or something.
Yeah.
And Camila goes, No, we can't do that because coronavirus is not over yet.
It's true. It's true.
She's right.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Or like she'll say like things get sick. Like Disney World is sick.
Oh, Disney World. That's not.
She wants to go so bad.
Yeah, Disney World is sick.
And Disney World's open too.
Dude,
Which is,
a bunch of weirdos.
Is it because of the NBA? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you, especially when your numbers keep showing that they're rising and rising? It's like, oh, hey, how about we open up more stuff?
The only thing I like about it is that I feel like the rest of the country and the world talks a little bit less about Texas because of Florida. Like, without Florida, Texas would be the joke. And like, we're just the only, we've done poorly, obviously, but like, I love that we have Florida out there because I think that everybody can really rally around Florida and giving them a hard time. So like, oh, we'll give Texas a break because look at Florida.
We're just always just a little outside of the but people who are paying even like a little bit of attention know.
Yeah.
Like, well,
we can be like, well, at least we're not Florida. Well, this is good. And I think that we had Sharon with Gabe and Ade instead of Sharon with Sharon with Sharon. So I appreciate the support, guys.
Man.
thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, tune in next time when we talk about whatever we talk about.